everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and welcome to your May 2016 Throwback Day. And today we're going to be talking about a movie that is a little more recent, not necessarily considered a classic, but a movie that a lot of people were interested in, a movie that got a lot of Oscar buzz, just because of the fact that it was one of the few times in like every 5 years where Daniel Day-Lewis decides to pop up, and of course we are talking about There Will Be Blood, the story of the oil tycoon Daniel Plainview and how greed, corruption, and money just drove him mad. And not just him, but what exactly the power of money can really do to the human psyche as a whole. This was a movie that I really wasn't interested in at the beginning, and then when it started getting a ton of Oscar buzz, I was starting to get a little bit more interested. More so when I was in the YouTube community and starting to get to know some people in the film community. People were just raving about this movie, saying, "Oh, you have to see this movie." So I added it to a bunch of movies that I wanted to see for my throwback days, and now I've seen it. And I will definitely say that the hype is real. This is a very thought-provoking, well-written film. I mean, it's not something that everybody's gonna like because of the fact that it is extremely dialogue-driven, and the story is not necessarily something that is just epic or gargantuan, but it's a real interesting look into the mind of a businessman. Daniel Day-Lewis definitely gave one of the greatest performances of his career as Daniel Plainview, a guy who always worked in the oil industry, somebody who had seen tragedy in his business, success in his business, and then when he finally decides that he wants to be something bigger and better, he does everything, and I mean everything that has to be in his power to get it all done, including the main focus of the story is where he sees this land that is rich with oil in this tiny little community that is governed by faith, and specifically this family who is pretty much one of the big families in the community that is willing to negotiate with him. The head of the household's son, Eli, who is played brilliantly by Paul Dano, and let me just trail off a little bit here. Paul Dano is getting shafted. I mean, you think Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp have been shafted? No. Paul Dano is one of the greatest young actors in Hollywood today. I have seen him in this movie, 12 Years a Slave, recently Love and Mercy as Brian Wilson. I don't understand why nobody is talking about Paul Dano more, because he is such a talented actor, especially for someone that's this young. And him as Eli, this young man who is a pastor in the community, tries to manipulate Daniel Plainview to try and gain a little something in terms of profit from the oil and maybe jerk him around a little bit. It's amazing to see these two people going head-to-head and really trying to get the best of each other. Around the time of the Great Depression, when the two of them come together at the very end and this crazy thing that you kind of saw coming actually unfolds, you just are awestruck and shocked by what this whole industry and what this whole story did to these two people in just really screwed with their minds. Again, this is a fantastic film. It is well written, it is beautifully acted, the pacing can be a little bit dull at times, and again, there's really nothing crazy epic that most people, as a general consensus in movie-going, is going to truly enjoy. But I really believe that this is a movie that you should see if you want to see something that is just brilliantly written. It's not necessarily a movie that I will want to see again. If it's on, will I watch it again? Sure. Would I see it on Netflix if I really wanted to just refresh my mind at the brilliance of this screenwriting and acting? Sure. But it's not necessarily something that I can see millions and millions of times, and it's not something I plan to add to my collection either. But it is definitely one of those films that is destined to become a true classic in the world of Hollywood and cinema. So I am going to give There Will Be Blood 3.5 out of 4. So I appreciate the fact that you came to watch today. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's have a discussion on There Will Be Blood, and I will see you in the next Throwback Day. Actions speak louder than words.